Okay, just finished up a good 3 days of work. I think all 3 days, I think our coaching staff would say was positive, so that's a good thing, you know, a week before we play. Tomorrow we'll do a little bit more game type situations, kind of like a dress rehearsal, just to make sure we have everything covered and all the little things that go from there. Depth chart we will release next Tuesday. We still have a little bit of work to do. We've got an idea about some positions more than others, but on Tuesday we'll have everything lined out.
Will the dress rehearsal tomorrow be at the stadium? Will it be?
What's that?
Will it be at the stadium tomorrow?
Possibility. We're still kind of talking through that.
How many positions, is it still the left guard is still the thing that's up in the air? How many other positions would you say are up in the air?
You know, I think just a handful. I don't think there's a whole lot more than a handful.
Any decision on the punters yet?
On Tuesday we'll have the on Tuesday we'll have the depth chart, and I'll give it to you, and we can talk about it.
The last couple of years, you guys had a package for Jeremy Johnson week to week. Obviously, things are different now. Do you have a package for Sean White week to week to bring him in, no matter how Jeremy's performing, or is it that dynamic change this year?
Well, and we think, you know, Jeremy can do everything we need to do, and Sean at the same time has a you know, complete understanding of our overall offense too. So, you know, as far as packages, you know, really, you know, looking back to what Nick's first game he started, I don't know if we had a package for Jeremy at that point. I'm not saying later on we may, but right now we're planning on Jeremy Johnson taking the snaps.
Duke still with the second team then?
Yes.
Is it possible for him to take reps with the first team next week, or are you still?
We hadn't got that far.
Do you feel any better or confident about your special teams units and how many young guys can fit in certain spots at this point?
We've worked extremely hard on special teams this fall camp, and we will have quite a few young guys, you know, at least helping with those positions. And so, you know, we feel as good as you can before you play a game. There's nothing like, especially the young guys, getting out there and evaluating them in a game and seeing how they respond. But, you know, I think we got some guys that'll bite, that want to get out there and do what we ask, you know, to do in that area.
Gus, chemistry-wise, getting here a week before the season, basically, what's your feeling about where this team is?
You know, I like our overall team. I like our leadership. You know, our guys are coachable. They're trying to do what their coaches ask them to do with a great attitude, great effort, and you know that's really the most important thing. And so, yeah, I like where we're at.
You still believe that the makeup of this team reminds you a lot of 13 in the way going into the season?
You know, it does from the standpoint of some veterans mixed in with some young, talented guys. That's probably the biggest thing. I mean, you know, hey. We'll see what happens. I mean, that team got better each week. They won close games at the end of the game. I mean, you know, that we got our work cut out for us to follow in that footsteps. That's the plan, and I like the makeup of our team.
Going into the season with all these expectations, top 7, pick to win the league, does that change the dynamic any of how you approach it? Compared to, say, 2013?
Yeah, no, it really doesn't. I mean, you know, from a coach's standpoint, you're trying to prepare your team, and you're truly taking it one game at a time. Yeah, you look at the schedule and you look at the grinds and all that, but you've got to take it one game at a time. And, you know, we've got a lot of question marks. You know, we got potential, there's no doubt, but, you know, we're going to have to improve, and, you know, we're going to have to win some close games. We know that. So we're just focusing on this first one, and like I've said before, we've got our hands full, and you know, after this first one, we'll go on to the second one, and we'll just kind of evaluate where we're at.
Have you selected team captains yet?
Not yet. I'm hoping by Tuesday to get you that too.
A big picture question for you in your career. Just when you look back, how important would you say 2010 was, and Cam and the championship and all that was, and being a Royals finalist was for you in your career and getting a head coaching job?
Well, I mean, that was a memorable year, there's no doubt. I mean, anytime you're fortunate enough to be with a group that wins a championship, I mean, that's a good thing. And, you know, I always talk about experience. You know, nothing better than experience helping you in those situations if they come about again.
Rhett's one of the, I guess, because Rhett's one of only a couple of Royals finalists the last few years yet to change jobs. You've certainly said over and again that you're very confident in his head coaching ability. Is it fair to say that the next year or two with Jeremy will be very important to Rhett's career path, would you say, obviously?
Well, I mean, Rhett's an outstanding coach regardless, you know, of what happens the next year or two. And he'll be a head coach at this level regardless of what happens the next year or two. It's just a matter of when. But, you know, we're tickled to death to have him, and he's doing a very good job for us.
When you were back in the state of Arkansas State, and across the way, things happened with Bobby Petrino and he got fired. What was it like in the state at that time, those weeks?
You know, that was the first year I was a head coach at Arkansas State, and we had, you know, had our hands full with what we had going on. So really, there wasn't a whole lot, you know, that I remember or hear and talk about it. I mean, we were focused on our team.
You talked about how happy you were with the injury situation. Is that still the case?
Yes. Yeah. I mean, we're you know, I'm not going to say we're banged up or beat up. No, it's a good, healthy. You know, our kids, we've had a physical camp, so we got to do a good job this week of getting everybody back, and we got a good plan, and you know, I feel good about where we're at in that area.
Will you return to practice Sunday like a normal game?
Yes, we sure will. You know, we'll get in that game week routine on Sunday, and we'll try to, you know, it's good that we're finally almost there to get in that routine that we do the same thing every week.
Will Sunday be more of a full practice though than like a normal Sunday?
It'll be a little bit more than normal, like we've done the last 2 years, and you know, then we'll get into you know, how the season goes, how banged up we are, about, you know, how long to practice on Sunday, and it varies.
Guys, I'm sure you saw the Wall Street Journal report yesterday. Just, do you have any explanation for how come so many of your players were in the same major the last couple of years?
No, you know, each individual player, you know, they pick their major, they pick what they want to graduate and what they want to do in life, and so, no.
I guess carry on just like 10 days or so with that ankle. Does that change just kind of how quickly he can be available this season?
You know, he's been back out there this week practicing. What's really caught my attention is he's really bright as far as football knowledge goes, and you know, you put him back and it's not like he missed much, and so that definitely should help him. But he will definitely help us, you know, this year.
All right, Coach.
Thank you.
Thank you.